Right, we're back. FooRCast with me, Gavin Ford, Bitr8 at the end.
Don't know why I did that. Don't know why I put that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Made a cup stay at Lancashire.
Yeah.
We'll start anyway.
Nice one.
And this week, joining us for the first time,
Hi.
Uncle Mike Nitro,
That's
Technique, Alex Churton.
That's better, yeah. Yeah, that is me.
What was your other street names?
Deranged the Mad
Sexual
Homie.
Chocolate. Deranged the Mad.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't true. No, that's about it, really.
What would you like to be referred to? What's
Just Alex, probably.
all right, Alex? Your name, good choice.
It's not bad.
Solid, isn't it?
That's good.
Solid choice.
Solid choice
Solid
out of the
choice.
three. Uncle Mike Nitro. That's a bit long-winded.
That's your artist name,
Imagine me
isn't it?
making you call me that for every time. Uncle Mike Nitro. Uncle Mike Nitro.
So that's your artist name, isn't it?
Yes, at the moment, yes.
So we'll start off. Let's get to know you.
Okay.
Obviously, we've just heard all of your names.
Sweet.
We've known each other for
Too long.
1999.
Since about 2000, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
so about 19 years. It works out well, doesn't it? Being easy, starting at 2000. We can just add that on.
Good maths.
Sweet.
So yeah, we started working at the record shop together. That's how we met, isn't it? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I was.
And we're both from Tottenham. We were both from Tottenham Legends, but that's
Homeland.
yeah,
Power to the people, yo.
and you are
Fat.
Yeah, I didn't want to say early doors. I was hoping you were coming out with the street names.
Yeah.
What's your street name? Fat.
Yeah, but that is what I am.
You didn't used to be though.
No, but I like drinking and food and that.
Yeah, they are good things.
Yeah, used to exercise, but not anymore.
But in all seriousness, let's bring everyone up to speed. Let's see what you're because obviously later on we might give some advice, we might give some guided wisdom. We want to give people, show people
Some pearls.
some pearls. There'll be some pearls in there. We want to show people what qualifies you to give people pearls. Last week, Chris brought us up to date with his incredible DJ competition skills.
Oh yeah.
Now he's got the caliber after winning the Lytton Tree DJ
Well, I
competition.
won the semi-final, and then
Did you run that gig and win it?
I won the semi-final and got beaten by a guy that scratched with his nose. So
I saw it. I saw that. I saw that. I've seen the,
But
yeah.
he was always going to lose to that guy. So
I mean, yeah.
There's no winners there.
I mean, is he still
obviously
is he
apart
still
from him, didn't win
DJing?
it.
Who knows? Who knows what he's doing now?
There's no winners, well, apart from the guy that won. Yeah, he won.
So we met you were a hip hop MC. Well, you still are.
Why does it always sound embarrassing? Because I'm fat and old now. You gotta go like it's like your dad talking to you. Go yeah, I rap. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, I rap. Yes, I do. Yeah, it sounds shit, and I kind of like. Yeah, I don't know. Why am I even wearing this hat backwards? I don't know. It's all a struggle now, isn't it? Life really. Still
You look
clinging
good,
on
you
to the
look good.
coattails of what youth I definitely don't have anymore.
You look good. You look good. You could pass for.
Sweet. Sweet deals. No, yes, I do that, and I songwrite as well, obviously, and I work with other people that we also know, like Ollie. We've got a project that we've been working on for about 3 years, which has got some good music in it. We'll
Ollie
probably never
is
release it.
a producer, engineer of ours. He's just done MK single. Don't know what he's done on it. I think.
Yeah, he's a mix engineer.
He just downloaded it.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's been the mix engineer on that. He's also like working on that Bitr8 project with Bitr8 as well.
Yeah,
it's all quite incestuous, the Southampton music scene, isn't it? Really, in a weird way. You kind of like we've all worked with each other in various kind of bits and bobs. We haven't, have we?
No, we nearly did.
Did we?
Rhino.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, because you were a promoter as well.
Yes. Yeah, did that. So yeah, so I've worked in and about the music industry for I don't know 20 years now, a long time anyway. So in various guises, either like promoting, like helping run clubs, working in the record shop, or writing for magazines. DVA. no, I've written some bits and bobs here and there, and then obviously, Walks for Men Cap.
But you still, but you're still recording now. You've got.
Yeah, I did.
You're
I
working
did,
on an album now, aren't you?
Yeah. I kind of had a bit of like a 10-year hiatus or so from rapping.
Yeah, they were good.
That's why my rap age. I only consider myself to be about 30. Because it's a technicality, but I like that. But so I released my first album, which was a Dark Craftsman album. Yeah. That was in I don't know around early 2000s, and then sort of like took about a 10-year gap away from it. I don't know. It's just because I don't know. Just tried some other bits and bobs. Obviously, I did the pickpockets thing as well. Maybe I'm just lying. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a good story.
Actually, I forgot about the most successful thing that I already did.
The only interesting thing you've ever done. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, that was.
No, but you
I really enjoyed the pickpockets project. That was really.
There you go. Tell. Do you know what pickpockets is, Chris?
I don't know.
Tell Chris and the
I'd
people
like
at
to
home
know.
about.
Okay, so the pickpockets thing was what I set up after doing the Dark Craftsman thing, and I set that up with Rec. John Bailey, who's now like
Rodigan's manager, Wilkinson's manager.
Yeah.
MC Rec for hospitality, if you might know.
Yeah. So we set up along with a guy called Steve Keefe, who's a soul singer.
Amazing singer.
Really good singer.
What band was he in?
Boss Nass.
That's the one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great
I
covers band.
also turned without using the right.
Didn't he write a song for Gareth Gates or something?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I'm the first to complain about the rain. I should have sung it, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, he did.
Hang on, are you not Gareth Gates? Really fun. I thought that was one of your A-listers you just forgot to mention.
Thought you wrote that Spirit in the Sky cover with the Kumars.
I don't know where we are now. Well, yeah, but so anyway, so did that, set that up, and we just kind of put together a few tracks, and it just got like one of the tracks we did just blew up really quickly, and was like One Extra hadn't been around that long.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we had this we went from kind of just fucking about making some 2 or 3 tracks whatever to having like this track on like A-list playlist on One Extra, like literally we were shooting
right at the start of One Extra.
Yeah.
There's real hype, like it was a real exciting thing. It was a brand new start, so to be on the A-list at One Extra was massive.
And it was like,
massive now, but it's huge then.
I mean we were sort of like, we were just, I'd be sat in like Ollie's front room and we would just be like listening to it, and it'd be coming on 4 times an hour, and you're like kind of like wow, and then it just kind of.
Which tune was this one? Which one?
Wreck the Technology. Was it Wreck the Technology? Wreck the Technology. Wreck.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Again, one was singing the singlets. I can't sing. But anyway, so so we did that, and off the back of that, then obviously there was a bit of hype created about it, and people were all of a sudden like contacting us, and managers were interested. Like really interested. I mean, it's funny. It's funny when you get to that level, because then we made a few more records, and we were just like we were endorsed by Nike.
Yeah.
We like went on tour with like the Black Eyed Peas when they were like the biggest selling band in the world. They'd just done that Where Is the Love, that track, and the Elephant album, and they were like, so that was massive. We were playing like these massive places. We were doing like these. Played Bristol Academy like 3 times, and like just
toured Ice-T as well, didn't you?
Yeah, toured with Ice-T. Like,
didn't Alan McGee want to sign it? Is that?
Yeah, we were managed by Alan MGee.
Oh, there you go. That's even better.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris's eyebrows went there. He went
yeah, so
leaving that out.
So we're yeah, don't worry about that. That's not interesting. It don't matter.
You mentioned that he wrote for DV8 magazine. Managed by Alan McGee.
Yeah, whatever. It's DV8. Yeah, episode 7. 1997, MC in a month.
DV8 was a free magazine that was given out through which Alex wrote.
It was worth more than free.
Alex wrote for a bit, and was also one MC of the month one time.
When I wrote for it.
When he wrote for it.
Guest feature. Also this month we'll be looking at MCs in this town. I'm the best. So so deal with it. And also here's some of my shit lyrics to quote. Thanks.
But yeah, so
anyway, Alan McGee.
Alan McGee read that copy of DV8.
Alan McGee, for anyone doesn't
smoke like a cigarette. Get him in.
Alan McGee, for anyone that doesn't know, obviously, Side Oasis was the.
Yeah. I mean, these are little minor
details. Stop telling him talking about DV8 magazine. Tell him about them.
All right, yeah. So how did it come about? We just we hooked up with a guy called Richie the Fox, and
what? This is the best name ever. You never even told me this story. Richie the Fox.
My story is just DV8 related. So we went, and he was working for Creation Management, which was Alan McGee's thing, because Alan McGee I think sold Creation Records, and he was now sort of running Creation Management. So we went up there, and it was amazing. And we've gone up there. This is quite a whirlwind thing at the time as well. So we've, it wasn't like we'd been working on this for years. It was like kind of fairly overnight as it comes. So we've gone up to his offices in like Chalk Farm, I think it is, and like we're walking up, to the meeting room to meet up with Alan McGee. Who's obviously, you're going, this is an impressive geezer. And as you go up to the top of the top of the stairwell going up, it's got like the triple or 5 platinum discs for What's the Story, Morning Glory, and Definitely Maybe, and you're kind of looking at it, and literally everywhere's lit. Because who else did he do? Not Stone Roses, Primal Scream, because he was doing Primal Scream, and there's loads of other records that you're just looking around going, oh my god, we're in the presence of someone that's like genuinely done some serious things. And we were sat there, and it was just madness. I mean, I remember like he was just telling stories, like he told this David Beckham story and things like that, and we were just sat there and like, and that was kind of it. And that was it. And then he was our manager, and then it's just a blaze of long weird stories. But we were on tour with Ice-T, and we were playing at around the Edinburgh Festival, so Liquid Rooms at Edinburgh. We were up there, and we had some management from there. And again, I could link this to some other things, but I won't mention names and things yet. I haven't had enough beer, but but we weren't particularly happy with this guy that was like our point person, and we were coming back, we were flying back, due to fly back from Edinburgh, and we had a gig in Nottingham or somewhere like that, and we just phoned up Alan McGee. I think Rec was on the phone to him, and he just said, look, this, we're not sure about the appointment. This guy, we don't think it was a bit embarrassing with what was going on, sort of thing. And he said, this Alan McGee just said, oh, look, John, I'll be your manager. Yeah. And we said, okay, look, we'll think about it. And literally we put the phone down, and then about 5 minutes later, we get a call from our solicitor just saying, I've just received like a cease and desist of our kind of, agreement, whatever, or just basically not cease and desist, but like basically a fax come over saying, Croatian, we don't want to work with you anymore, which I can only consider, because that's absolutely the God's gospel truth what happened. I can only consider that they probably on reflection thought, who are we to be fucked about by you, so they probably pulled the plug on it because to save face, as opposed to because if it ever got out, this band and we knobbed them off, we didn't want to work with them anymore. It's a little, I think they just did it to save face, and that was probably one of the worst decisions we ever made, really. Because
how long into it was this?
That was fair. That's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's difficult to kind of like plot up a real timeline, because after that, then we were managed by Richard Park. This is the guy that did Richard Park. This is where you need the internet guy. Richard Park. He was a guy that did what was that program? Did Lifford come from it, or Lamar?
Oh, the Fame Academy.
Fame Academy. Yeah. Was that? Yeah, and he was like the headmaster of that program. Do you remember?
Oh,
I remember him. Yeah.
You're forgetting about David Snedden, by the way.
Sorry.
Fame Academy, David Snedden.
That was it.
Yeah.
Smashed it. That was it. Don't you think?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, no, but anyway, so
I've got a ridiculous Fame Academy knowledge, by the way. Another episode in the future.
So anyway, we were then managed by him, and then we ended up with David Laub, who was part of Virgin. But that was a thing that you just kind of think, But also, just to cap myself, because I don't want to just drone on. But I think the thing that really kind of put the sort of like nail, in the coffin for the Pickpockets really was the fact that we just happened upon to be at the wrong time musically, because everything had kind of moved over to digital. So you remember in the record shop times, we kind of saw it go from physical sales, so people were paying £6-7 for a UK, up to 10-12 for a US import. Big sales, so there's a lot of money in music. Then all of a sudden, a lot of money went out, and record labels just shit themselves. They didn't know what to do. So all the A&Rs lost all their power because they couldn't sign anybody, because they were getting reined in. They were getting told, "Don't sign anybody because we don't know what's going on. We can't go and risk signing money." Well, we had, and this is no word of a lie. I was with Steve Keefe in town, and we got a phone call from this girl. I think her name was Kelly, who was like Richard Park's assistant, and she was chinking bottles of champagne together. And we were like, "What's going on?" She said, "You've just done a deal. We're going to sign you to Mercury for $4,500,000." And we were like, "Boom!" And we cried. We were in tears, just like because it was like, it was like, "Fuck!" This is happening. Fell through 2 days later.
Yeah.
And it was like, and that was, that it takes out of you that roller coaster of kind of. But it was just that time, that era was just a bad time, because nobody knew what to do. They still wanted to make money, but they didn't know how to remunerate themselves financially, because all the money had gone. People that were paying £7 were now just downloading it for free on LimeWire.
Probably the worst time. It's like the worst time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and all the DJs had already kind of moved from, or started to move from kind of vinyl to CD, anyway. And so as a kind of byproduct of that, the whole digital thing was kind of getting in people's heads a lot more. So going from CD to just MP3 was
panic, wasn't it? There was this huge panic.
Yeah, that was it. So there you go. So that was in a nutshell, that was the pickpockets. Anyway.
So we had the same thing when we did I'm Sorry, which was the first FooR song, and we put all our money into it. Released it. Well, we didn't release it in the end. Well, we just did. It's on the FooR Years album, which you can get now. We put the video, and we were going to get signed. We put the video out, and it had like 50,000 views on YouTube in a week, which was decent for then. So it's enough. Okay, we'll take this record. We'll sign this record. There was
decent.
There was interest around it. I was in Dubai at the time, and I was like, "It's happening." Come back. Met the late. This is happening. This is thing, and it was Christmas time. It was before our Christmas party. It was Christmas. So it was just before our Christmas party. I had like this massive meal. All my friends hadn't signed a deal. Was there, bump. Had a few to drink, and I thought I'm gonna tell you what. Like, it's not gonna fall through. I stood up and made this speech. Like, look, I've done it. Like, I've been working on this for my whole. This is my dream, my whole life. And look, I've signed this. I'm Sorry, it's been signed. And like, it was like the most amazing moment. Got really drunk, thrown out of my own Christmas party later on. Whilst they played I'm Sorry as I was being dragged out of my own party. And then the deal fell through. And I'm haunted by the vision of me thinking, I'm going to stand up and make this speech now.
It's horrible.
It is one of the worst things. And we didn't get, because of Christmas, we were in a line of contracts, and we were behind us. I probably shouldn't say it. A track on the Sigma album with another singer, and we said, you're behind that, but that track never come out. So I imagine that just stalled. Plus the Christmas break, obviously the music break thing. By the time we come back from the break, they went, heat's gone off the record a bit. You need to get it back. I can't. I mean, we spent all our money. I'm
put everything into it. Yeah.
And that's kind of
it's a horrible feeling. It's the
yeah. Because you go for that and the peaks and the troughs. And that's what we had. And we had that for about 2 or 3 years doing the pickpocket stuff. And it was like, I remember getting a call personally from Guy Holmes at Gut Records, and like he was like,
I remember Gut Records.
He was like, yeah, Gut Records, Aswad, Space.
I love Space. Who was it? We saw. No, you weren't there. We saw Space. Space played before us at Isle of Wight, and we watched them. And we had some friends of us from Australia, and it was me and Stinks. Oh, you weren't. Me and Stinks.
I was there, but I didn't see
we were banding around this my neighbourhood. Like these Australian girls were looking at us like, what is? I don't know what this music is. I don't know what that is you're doing. We were like in our own world, like, this is the best band I've ever seen in my life. And they were looking at us like, but yeah, sorry, Space and Aswad were.
Yeah. And I remember getting a personal call from him, and I was like, I didn't even know how he got my number. But that's, a lot of people, when they want to get, when you're, this is a difference, like, and you don't want to sound like a dick. I probably will do anyway. I will do anyway. Like, when you're hot, when you're hot. I remember being in Nando's in Bristol, and with the pickpockets, and we got a call from this geezer from P Records. This was like a subsidiary of, is it Polydor? I think. Right, and he just and he just basically said, he said, where are you? He said, we said, well, we're in Bristol, sort of thing, doing this gig. He said, yeah, I know, but whereabouts in Bristol are you? He said, we're in Nando's. He goes, brilliant, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And sat down with us, sitting down, what's going on, what's happening, what you're doing, sort of thing. And that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's different.
Especially back then, there was no. There was internet, but there wasn't Facebook.
Exactly, it's just like, could have just FaceTime. But appreciated his effort. Still didn't sign us. But fuck it, had a good jolly. So Space was, so Guy Holmes phoned me, and he said, like, he goes, I've been trying to sort of like arrange an appointment to see you guys, sort of thing. So I was kind of like, I won't say who it was that was managing us at the time, but I was like, why are you not dealing with this? Like, this just seems mad, why have you not dealt with it? And I spoke with the manager, and he was like, I think you're better than Gut Records, or bigger than Gut Records. Gut were like a big independent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they were like, so it was like, but I think he wanted to sign major for some reason, whatever. I think people did back then, So like, but then at the end of it, he was then coming back to me, going, maybe we should try and get back on, get that gut thing going. And you're there going, you didn't know, why didn't you just, and by that point he wasn't interested. So similar to the other, so it just, and then you get to the end of it and you're clutching at straws and chasing it, and the heart's gone. I think sometimes the heart goes from what you're trying to do, and when it changes from love and heart and passion and fun making it, obviously you're gonna have trials and tribulations, but when it goes from that to becoming a chore and just becoming like graft every day, and you're just sat there like a nervous wreck, like an empty shell of your former self, waiting for the phone to ring to pick up, how's it going? Or you phone up the manager, what's going on? Is any news? Yeah. And they're like, no. And you're like that. Cheers. There you go.
Yeah, I suppose there's if you've got so much music that's good that hasn't come out, and they're like, oh, you need to make more music, or you need to get heat on the it's exhausting, isn't it, to go, oh, well, look, I don't want to get the heat back on this record. I made, or I don't want to make any more music. I've got it's a mental block, isn't it? At that stage,
you need to have balance. You need to have balance. You need to have.
If you stop enjoying it, you're fucked.
That's what you need, that balance. You need kind of people to be into what you're doing, and when there's like a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're kind of going, and there's a bit of heat and things like that keeps you kind of buoyant to make more records. But then, once you're kind of once you're through the other side of it, you don't want to make more music because you kind of it's just a slog, and it's just not like
But you're making music now. You're making an album now.
Yeah,
Did you say this is your last album?
This is the last hip hop album I do. Just because I ain't got anything else to say.
Done all your DV8 bars.
Well, the thing is, I did my album I did my first solo album 2 years ago, like rap records, and that called Mind State Krakatoa, right? And that was available on vinyl, Beeline, but like MP3 Bandcamp. But it's a great album. I'm not going to lie. It's the best thing I've done. In 20 years, it will still stand up, and I don't care. It's the one thing that I'll say in not being kind of like detrimental to myself, sort of thing. It's good. It's a good album. So to do this other, I had a few tracks knocking about, and I thought I'd do another album, because it started, coming together that I just do it. And I thought, well, am I going to better this album? And I'm thinking to myself, probably not. And I'm just being honest, because you go like, oh yeah, no, you can't ever say that. Well, you can. Yeah. You can. I don't think Nas has ever done a better album after Illmatic. Really. So you kind of go, but he still makes albums. So you don't have to necessarily. It doesn't have to be better. It just make it good. But what I thought I'd do is I'd just get like some guest features on there. So it just make it a bit of fun, really. So I went and sort of like just tapped up people that I knew and just people that I rated. So I've got like Kalashnikov on there and Rams and Bad Bones on there. Who else? A guy called Joe Byrne, who's dope, and Juggernaut, who's heavy at the moment.
So it's like a passion project, then, of people you've always wanted to work with.
Just also having a bit of fun, and just it's just a body of work. It's just a collection of songs.
Did you see that Foreign Beggars are?
Yes,
calling it a day?
Yeah. I can't speak on Facebook to Pavan a couple of here and there sort of thing.
What do you think that is?
Why they giving up? Just long in the tooth, isn't it? Just 17 years long, whatever. Oh, I mean, I remember doing a gig with them at the Coronet, the Elephant and Castle. That was with the Pickpockets. And I'm thinking. So when I think back to the Pickpockets, and I think, God, that was ages.
17 years. They said it was.
It's just a long time, mate. I just think sometimes you need to. But I think you can always go back to it. It's something you can always go back to. But it's just like I just think sometimes you need a break. You need to go and do something different before you drive yourself mental. And obviously there's more of them in the group. They just want to probably go and do some different things. You know what I mean?
Did you still enjoy music as much now as you did? You did Pickpockets or Dark Craftsman or?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I write. The songs I write. I don't know. I went through quite a tough time past couple of years, like just with various things I won't go into. But just like so, a lot of the stuff I was writing has kind of been a little bit more darker on this other project that I'm working on. But it's cool. It's kind of like electronic-y, poppy, but still like it's got balls to it. It's not like if you listen to it lyrically, you're gonna go. You're gonna hear it and go, ooh, it's not one of those things that you kind of listen to and go, oh, it's kind of airy fairy. It's got some kind of depth to it. So that's that. And then I say I'll drop this last rap album, sometime this year probably, just when the label want to put that out, and then just focus more on the songwriting side of things, and also just other things in general as well. Like I've done it for a long time now as well, and I'm not getting any younger or slimmer. I'm getting older and fatter. So there you go.
So yeah, that is Uncle Mike Night Show. That is Alex. That's. So I think we know Alex. Let's talk about some other shit.